Wait. You're not just gonna skip over that.
Yeah.
The clippers took your hair off? Man, where's this dude at, man?
Yo. Oh, snap. What's good?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Troy, and welcome back to another episode of Dreadlock Talk, the show where we talk all things dreadlocks. And today, my special guest, first of all, this is my cousin. This man is a chef for the New York Yankees organization, a DJ, amongst many other things, Mr. Jamar George.
How you doing?
Welcome, my guy.
bro?
My boy right here. I say he's my cousin, but this is really my brother, man. You know, blood couldn't make us any closer. You know, man, we see the hat. Talk to it, man. You work for the Yankees.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. It's been, about 5 years now? 6 years if you count the internship. It's been a very tough ride, like starting off as an intern. Honestly, you know how it was back up north, but got transferred down here, and ever since then it's just been nothing but progression for me, to be honest. Like, started off food and beverage manager, and then they put me into a chef position, and now it's just a beginning. It's like a beginning to the real path that I want to do, which is owning my own restaurant, owning my own series of trucks and everything. But Yankees ain't no joke.
Yeah,
at all. I mean, whether it's New York, North Carolina, or Tampa, it's definitely not a joke when it comes to when it comes to like with the expectations. Basically, it's harder than most organizations, just because you got the owners and you got the executives right there. So I'm always gonna stay on top of my game, though. That's no worry.
Yeah, I mean that's a prestigious organization right there. It's pressure, but you know what you're doing, so it's like.
Oh yeah, and then honestly, every year I'm just learning something different. Whether it's big or small, you just learn something different, learn how to apply it, even when you don't even realize it. It all becomes like subconscious, or what I like to say is I'm on autopilot now. Yeah, I'm somewhat on autopilot when it comes to every spring training and every summer.
Yeah. So, you say you've been working there for like 5 years now. So, damn. And you've had your locks for how long?
I've had these I started, 3 years ago?
3 years. So, like, that's pretty cool that you started them while you were working for the New York Yankees. So,
yeah. Like, you wouldn't think that would be even a possibility.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, like, what made you want to start them?
Honestly, it was weird. It was like one summer 3 years ago, I woke up at my friend's crib that he was like letting me stay there for a while I was transitioning from apartment to apartment, and after seeing my boys' locks for a while and seeing a couple people always say, hey, you should do it, I was completely opposed to it. I thought I was gonna have a fade for my whole life. Like, I thought that's how it was gonna work. And I woke up one morning, just asked this girl, like, twist my hair. I just want to see how it's gonna look. And after that, it was like just like twisting it up every once in a while became almost like an addiction. Like, that lifestyle, just not having to worry about all this going to the shop, spending like $30-$40 all the time just to get a small lineup. It's like, that just doesn't make sense to me when there's all this other things I could be focusing on. So now with this, it starts to feel like an extension of myself almost. And I don't know, after that first year and just seeing it grow just a little bit, like, to my eyes, like, you remember that first year? Yeah. I had what do we call them? Like, we call them little cat nipples, basically.
I ain't heard that one.
That's what they say. It was like, damn, it looked like you got kitty nipples in your hair. And that's the only time that I ever thought about cutting it. And now, like, seeing how people have reacted to it, seeing how our own family members, like Uncle Malcolm, for example, how he reacted to it, it makes me smile so much, because I know that he's wanted that for so long. And to know that, like, both his young men have it, it brings nothing but a smile to my face.
Yeah, he's talking about our Uncle Malcolm up in New York. This man, he had locks for how long? 20 plus years? How long is it?
Probably long, man.
20, 30 years. Like,
good catch. Oh boy. Now, it's funny with Uncle Malcolm, because when you walk up into our crib back in Mount Vernon, the first picture you see is just him with the crazy 70s fro.
Yeah.
And then probably a few years after that, I know that's when he started his locks, and he was working for CIBC in Oppenheimer up on Wall Street, and I know that they wanted to cut him, but our uncle, being the G that he is, said, nah, if you want this work done, you want to keep me as an executive, I'm keeping my hair. And now man's hair is down to his hands.
Word.
But looking at that and seeing how he's like, how connected he is to his own hair, I used to think it was such a joke, and I thought it was just like him being stubborn about it, but really, like, you learn after growing it out for so long that this really becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like people messing with my hair, touching my hair and all that. I've never thought I'd be so sensitive about something like that.
Straight up. Yeah, so like I'm actually surprised that you waited so long to get him. Growing up in that house, it's like you had Uncle Malcolm, you had Remo, like,
yeah.
Bro, it's like we were around it. So like, I mean, we're growing up. Him especially, like the house he grew up in is like West Indian culture, like,
yeah, heavy.
So it's like, why did it take so long for you to decide to grow locks?
Speaking of West Indian culture, and I know we got a lot of family members that would agree, I wasn't like, quote unquote, the best West Indian there. Like, I didn't even really, I really didn't even mess with eating fish until I was like 14 years old. So I feel that at that point is when I really started to come into our culture a little bit more. And even then it was like hard for me to even think about having all that long hair. Like, I remember I had one in braids when we were in like elementary school. I wanted braids so bad, but that was because I was in Catholic school, so we weren't allowed to do that. And I just want to be a rebel.
Right.
But no, like after getting it done 3 years ago and seeing like how I looked in it, and then seeing how it was, even when it was down to my earlobe, I was just like, I actually look really good with these on. I think I might keep these. It was pretty dope. And like now it's really like more about this, like, I just love the style that I have, like free flowing style. I don't really go and get these retwisted or anything like that. And obviously seeing you, if I could I would but my hair doesn't really appeal to it because I got all the softness right here.
Yeah, this dude got that Dominican hair.
Yeah, y'all never let that go.
We won't. We can't. Yo, so like, how did your coworkers react when you started locking your hair up? Was it any controversy?
God, they were shocked.
For real?
The controversy, no. Like, no one's ever said anything about me having to cut it, luckily. And that's definitely probably from being in the kitchen, knowing that if I had stuck with the position as like food and beverage manager, where it was a lot more meetings, I can't speak for anyone necessarily, but I have seen that, whether it be in an organization like with the Yankees or other like organizations where you are seen as an executive and you're walking around wearing suits, people are still very finicky about it. But being in hospitality, being a chef, what we do as far as what's on our plate, that's the most important thing. If you know how to be a professional, that's just like extra credentials for you, and that just brings more people in. And I think I'm lucky with that, being raised the way that I was and being around the people that I was around. Having something like long hair doesn't really matter, because like my bosses, they understand, hey, he still puts in the work, he still knows how to act in a professional manner. Hair doesn't matter. And hopefully that becomes the case with a lot of other places, a lot of other companies, schools, things of that nature, where it is a big, like, people still have such a big deal and have such a negative stigma when it comes to this. I know going back to New York for a little bit, people immediately thought that I was from the South just because of my hair. I'm like, that's not where this came from. Right. That's not where having this hair came from. That's definitely not. I mean, you do see that negative stigma about it, but your hair, your facial hair, all that doesn't really mean, it doesn't show who you are. It's everything else that shows who you are. So I'm glad to at least be a part of the not trend really, but like the culture that takes away that negative stigma, at least.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well said. So, like, you said it's not a Florida thing, but, like, do you think Florida maybe subconsciously had some type of, influence?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not going to deny that. Yes. Like, I mean, after a while, you see so many people, and you see all the different styles that people have, whether it's them braiding it up, whether them dyeing the tips or dyeing their whole head. Florida definitely has helped make this like a cool thing all over. So. God dang it, it's
you don't want to say it. You don't want to
but yes, yeah. Like Florida, especially Tampa, did have a big part in me again, and definitely my boy who was like my roommate, he was my college classmate for a bit of time. Like he was also seen as like one of my business partners. He definitely brought it out too because he had dreads from. My freshman year of college, my sophomore year of college while he was a freshman, and he was the one that used to poke at it all the time about me getting my hair, and he kept it forever up until about a year ago he finally decided to cut his off. For the reason that I was speaking about, as far as business and being around executives, and once again the negative stigma, he was he had some fear of that, and I told him like eventually you're gonna get them back, you're gonna do it. And he's already working on it now.
Bro, it's like Remo. Remo been saying for like the past couple years, he was like, yo, I might have to start locking mine back up.
We're gonna get him.
Once you're in this world, it's like, yo, you never want to leave. Like there's always gonna be a part of you that like is locked up.
I low-key remember him cutting him off a little bit, but then he decided, okay, let me get some braids.
Right.
He needed to keep
some. Oh, he had braids after that?
Because he cut them, but he still had decent amount of hair, so he grew his hair a little bit and then got braids.
Okay. All right, bet.
So that was like it. I guess that was like the how can I put it? I can only put an analogy. When you're dating a girl and you think about all the memories when you guys get ready to break up,
right.
You don't want to let go, but you kind of have to. That's how I see it with Kareem.
That's a pretty good analogy. I'm really surprised that a lot of people in Florida have locks because of how hot it is, and a lot of people can't handle the heat. So you're
because I hate the heat.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're from up north, so it's like
I still love the snow.
So it doesn't ever bother you having locks like in this heat?
When I'm like right now, definitely have a problem with it a little bit just because I'm running out of kitchens. I'm running from like concession stand, club kitchen to club kitchen. So it does kind of bother me a little bit, but luckily that I've been able to grow my hair so fast, I just put my hair up.
Right.
Simple solutions. But prior to that, when it was first growing out and it was growing like really thick, I couldn't stand summer nights, man. Like at all. Like freaking hair getting stuck to my face. Like it was the worst feeling in the world. But I don't know. I think I'm turning into a little bit of a Floridian. I don't like to admit it, but it's true. Like I'm getting used to the heat. I'd rather 70 degrees all the time. Like this right here, this is beautiful to me right now.
Yo, I came to the beach for a reason, man.
Like, this is perfect.
It's like it doesn't get old
at all. And that's why looking into going back to the islands and chilling there for a while has been a big thought in my head. And even with like business, it's
like
been
St. Thomas,
Puerto Rico. St. Thomas and Puerto Rico have been in the back of my mind for about a year and a half, especially this past year because it was brought to me by my business partner about getting some property on the strip and having like a little shop. And at the end of the day, that's all I really want. Like have something that I could call my own, have something that I could have my friends and families come to during the late night, and just serve real simple food. It make me nothing happy. Like it's never a job once you get to that point.
That's a fact.
And it would be great to like get back to closer to the culture that kind of built us without building us. Cause like it's always been around, but I never spent that much time in St. Thomas like that, except when I was a kid. Yeah. But it would be beautiful to spend some more time there and see the difference between the culture in the States with what's in the culture there, like, and see how I can actually fit into it.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, because that's been something that's been on my mind for a minute now. It's like going back to the islands and, seeing how that lifestyle is. Because I know wherever I live, wherever I end up, it has to be sunny. It has to be tropical. So it only makes sense to go back.
Even though for a little bit of time you were an Ohio kid.
Bro. Yeah, I grew up in Ohio, but like that wasn't by choice. Like,
But what I would call the important years were spent down here, definitely.
Right, there you go.
The breeding years were definitely down here.
The breeding years, yeah, that's a fact. So going back to like the way you got your locks, like, you know, you said you don't twist them much, but you twisted them initially.
Twice.
You've only twisted them twice.
I've had them retwisted twice now.
So do you separate them on your own, or they just, okay, got you.
Yeah, so like when they start to, you know, can go out a little bit, I went mine individual. So I'm very careful with it, because I've had made mistakes within the first couple years of just not being used to it, where I would separate it, and instead of like slowly separating it from the mid root up, I would just yank them, and then I'll wake up in the morning, I lost one lock, and a little tear would come down my finger.
Oh, that hurts.
I've lost three. I've lost three by my own doing, because I was just being like a little young and just being very subconscious about my hair. And then one time was from a barber. And
hold up, what? wait. You're not just gonna skip over that.
Yeah.
The clippers took your hair off?
So I went, cause like I still get a little bit of a tape up, and I'll get it in the back too. And I like tied my hair up so we can get the back a little bit, and I just felt something get a little too high. I stayed like I stayed calm and everything. Like I was just like, I'm gonna let him finish his haircut. I ain't never coming back to this guy, but the minute I got in my car, I my temper, my temper.
Yeah.
So I lost it in the car. But yeah, so let's just say I've never got my hair cut in Temple Terrace again. Ever since that.
Dang, I wouldn't even get my hair cut, period. After that.
I know, yeah.
I would be shook.
I'm holding onto the chair every time now.
Yo.
Like, I feel that thing get like within a millimeter too high. I like step out, say, yo, I swear, if I see one piece of hair on the floor, I'm gonna lose it. Bro.
Yeah, like I'm not saying we're fighting, but I'm not paying you if you do that.
No, especially now.
You paid? You was like, I'd be like, nah, I'm out. Paid. I'm out, man.
Even though he made that one mistake, everyone.
That's a big mistake.
I know, but it's a service industry. I'm in the service industry, so I understand. Right. I'm one of those people that instead of tipping 20%, I'm tipping like 30%. Even because it's not always the waitress's fault. Right. Sometimes it's our fault.
So you said you haven't faced any type of scrutiny or anything like that in the workplace? Not at all.
At least not up front.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, like you don't know what's in people's minds.
Well, not like that. I mean, like, it hasn't held you back in any way.
No.
Because I think that's important for a lot of people to understand, that you can work for such an organization like the New York Yankees with having this kind of hairstyle and you know,
no one excel. No one's ever really, at least with the Yankees, like, or because with the Buccaneers too, because we're in the same company now. Like Legends, we work. I go right across the street. I was in the Super Bowl, like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no negative stigma coming towards us at all. I can't speak, once again, I can't speak for other companies and other corporations like that, but when it comes to the New York Yankees or Legends Hospitality, they don't see any difference. It's really about what you put out. That's it. Like, if people have a certain connection with you and people understand what kind of person you are, that's what's most important. And hopefully, I think it will happen, especially with the way that the way our generation is impacting like the whole world right now. I believe that it's okay.
You're still loud.
I believe that whole setting people back, that stuff's gonna go. That's gonna stop. That's gonna stop, because now we're not only targeting corporations about the way that they treat their employees when it comes to that. It's affecting kids. You got kids in sports that are having their hair chopped off, and I know like the first account of it was a few years back, but like it hasn't stopped.
Right.
So like, I think the more that schools see gentlemen like you and myself, and the way that we hold ourselves and what we're doing in the business world and finance world and sports, hospitality, all of that, that's gonna change the view.
Yeah. No, I agree completely.
Don't know when, but I know the time's coming. Just like everything else that's being changed a little bit for both the better and the worse. that kind of change in that view is going to happen. The wind's just having a lot of fun with us right now.
There's pros and cons to this Florida thing, this beach life. So how do you take care of your hair? Like, what do you use to wash it? Do you use oils or anything to moisturize it? How's that?
Really, I've been on the castor oil a lot. Like, but it's the from the specific company, Shea Moisture.
Okay, yeah.
So they have the castor, I think it's a castor argan mixture. So I use that lotion, but I use that like every other day. As far as actually washing my hair, it's the black African soap.
The Shea Moisture one?
Yes.
Okay.
I utilize that, but I try my best, even though I still have that whole short hair mentality where I gotta wash my hair all the time.
Yeah.
I try not to, especially because I got that from you, because you were the one that kind of explained to me, yo, dude, this is a little bit too much. And
in the Bahamas, that's what.
Yeah, that's when you say, you're like, yo, this is the reason why your hair is acting up like that. So ever since then, I stopped going crazy with the whole shampoo and conditioning. I just like let my hair just do its thing for the most part. If I'm working and I'm dealing with like fryers and all that, it does lead me to like wash my hair like 3 times. I have to work because you got to get that smoke, like that smoker stuff out. You got to get the frying oil out. Like, I just know that I got to get that stuff out because that smell will stick for a while.
Yeah.
Like, especially being in front of a barbecue smoker.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you put it up at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I'm like, if I'm not wearing this hat, it's really just hair in a bun and put a bandana on to cover it up, and that's about it. Which it's funny. Typically with something like that, like you're kind of told, no, you need to have like a hat on, you need to have a certain kind of hairnet on. But luckily, because of my hair, I'm just able to keep it in a bun and not really have to worry about that as much. You can't really protect it from oil though, unless you have a hat or. I can't go to work wearing a do-rag, so.
Nah, that's probably not gonna work out.
Not at all. I've actually had to tell a couple people not to do that.
Bro, I haven't seen you in, how long? Months?
Yeah,
months. Your hair got dumb long, bro.
Yeah, within months. I don't know what ancestor I got that like in my gene pool that was just like, you know what, this man's always gonna have pretty decent hair. Right. That just grows away too fast. Like, everything but my beard grows fast.
Yo, so you were saying, your hair is like an extension of you. So could you kind of expound on that, like what your hair means to you? Because for a lot of people, it's more spiritual. A lot of people, it's more aesthetic. So could you like expound on that?
For me, I don't think it's as much as a spiritual thing necessarily, but it is something that now to me, like, taking care of my hair is just as important as taking care of my skin at this point. If you don't pay attention to it, just like if you don't pay attention to your fingernails, your forehead, anything like that, it's gonna come back. It's gonna fight you essentially. So if you spend too much time like not treating your hair right or treating your skin right, it's gonna dry out. It's gonna smell like horrible. And like, now having such long hair, I get that even more. When you have shorter hair, not saying that there's anything wrong with it, you can spend weeks on end not caring as much. Right. Like, things don't like, impurities don't show as much, at least. Yeah. I realized when I didn't like oil my hair or lotion my hair enough, I start to feel how like my scalp starts to feel really bad. Like the smallest things. Putting on a hat hurt just from not taking care, like just not from not like paying attention to my hair and not oiling the roots enough. Like I would put on a hat and it felt like something was like pulling it a lot. Wow. And I realized it was just because like my roots were getting dry. It was something that simple. So it just forced me to focus on that just as much as I focus on the oil in my forehead. Honestly, and I used to be very particular about my skin like that. Yeah. I was pretty big on my skin and very big on my teeth. It's just something about me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's how all men should be, all people. Yeah. But men especially, because a lot of y'all don't be taking care of yourself like you need to. So
I see that a lot, and it's like little things like that, especially with people in the kitchen. I like start to speak to them a lot more, saying, hey, like you being a cook, you being a chef or anything like that, people are going to people are going to notice things like your hand. Like me, I have an issue where if I don't clip my nails every couple days, I start to feel weird, because I think about the fact you're touching food, you're around food all the time. Someone notices that you got a little bit of dirt on your nails, or your nails are just a little too long, they ain't ever gonna come back to your shop.
Right.
So if, in a way, putting it towards, I guess, your hair, if people see that you're not grooming yourself that way, or us having longer beards, they see things like flexing your beard or anything like that, they're gonna think, okay, this person is somewhat of a dirtier person. Yeah. And that's obviously not true, especially with us. That's totally not true. Yeah. That's not how we were raised.
Facts.
So yeah, that's what, like, that, as far as the whole extension to myself, that's where I see it. It's like, this is something that I have to take care of just as much as I take care of any other part of my body, any part of my face. Just like with how I went from my old, like, eating habits and everything to what I do now. Like, with the 19-5 fasting, like, greatest feeling in the world. Taking care of my hair more, greatest feeling in the world. Just all that. It's just, I don't know, it's weird to say. I guess it's like more clarity too. It's funny. Things like that just help you, like, think more clear as well. It's kind of like once again, in a cooking aspect, me prepping it, me twisting, like me just doing this or manicuring my hair, just like prepping. It's something that I can spend that hour or so just focusing on what I want next week or what I want next month. It's just things like that just made me realize, oh wow, this is really something that's actually like a part of me now.
Yeah. That's a great answer, man.
It's different.
It really sounds like your hair has like been it's almost like you grew it at the perfect time, like in your evolution and your maturation, really, just in life.
I really think so, honestly. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it in that way, where it really is becoming a part of my evolution necessarily. But that is a great point, because it's funny, I got my hair done right around the time where I went from walking around wearing a suit all the time to putting on my chef's coat and really focusing on that part of my life. And those two things just started going hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's interesting how things like that work out.
Hey, that's the universe, man. For real. It really is, man. So, like, do you ever see yourself cutting your locks?
Right, like,
I don't like to put a time on everything, but like, could you see yourself, just having them forever?
Yeah. I've spoken about it before, because it was weird. After year 2, I kept going, I'm gonna wait till I want it to be like right by my ear. I used to use Kendrick Lamar as a reference. I was like, I want to keep it that way. I'm gonna just keep it that way. And then it went down past my ears. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna let it go to my shoulder. And now it's going past my shoulder. I don't know what my next step's gonna be after that. Just put my hair in a ponytail if I have to work or whatever. It's all good. But so, like, I don't see myself cutting it at any time. I want to see how long it gets, and if I ever get to Uncle Malcolm's point. And can I have it done that way comfortably?
I feel like that would happen in the next like 5 years, don't you think? Because his isn't too long. It's like, it's probably
stopped.
Like,
I think it's it stopped once it got to like right above his hip.
Right.
But also,
yours will get there sooner than you think, I feel like.
I started mine earlier than his. We started ours earlier than he did.
Yeah, for real.
Because he was in what, like 40s, 50s, I think.
Dude, he got so happy when he saw me last.
Oh boy.
He's like, man, you look so good with that hair, man.
Yo, it's crazy how like things like that can make that man, like that, like I said, that man's like my father. Like, it make that father like so happy, make Uncle Malcolm so happy with just changing our hairstyle. Right. Changing our hairstyle and changing our facial hair.
Well, because it probably just reminds him of his earlier days, when he had the big fro and like the beard and everything.
That's why I didn't think about him, like seeing himself in us.
Yeah.
It brings a tear in my eye.
It's life, man. It's life.
It's life. It's the universe.
So what is something that that you found out about this journey that you didn't expect? Like, was there anything that you were like, oh wow, I didn't expect it to be like this, or whatever?
I didn't expect to get so many compliments, and it's something that is so minor, but like that is honestly something that helped. I guess like it was kind of like a low-key confidence booster in myself, a little bit of like an ego booster as well, like seeing something that I doubted for so long. I thought that I could not have long hair and actually like feel great about that, until I just walk around and someone simply said, oh my god, I love the way that your hair grows out. It looks like really, really neat. And that goes back to the whole taking care of your fingernails, taking care of your skin, and people like noticing things like that. Just because of how clean my hair looks, or how it'll smell at certain times, people immediately associate that with, this man is an extremely cleanly person. And that makes me feel great. Just like having that, people like notice little things about that. For someone like me, who not necessarily needs affirmation a lot, but it does feel good to get things like to have people say that and notice things that you don't notice yourself on a day-to-day basis, because it's on my head. I'm not gonna notice every little thing that happens, but that makes me go, oh yeah, I do have pretty good hair. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Nah, that's dope. I feel the same way, because like, especially with having freeform locks or locks that you don't really touch much.
Yeah, it doesn't work for everybody.
Bro, well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like the highest acceptance of yourself. It's like this is how my hair grows. So
this is who I am.
It's like if you don't accept it, it's like nobody else will. You know?
Yeah, and that's something that, like, the past couple of years, I'm doing much better with. Like, because I found myself not being like that all the time. And once I started to grow out my hair and not caring, like necessarily not caring what other people were thinking as much, that's when I started hearing more compliments. And that's when my whole mentality of like, this is just who I am, I'm going to accept who I am, I will always try and better myself, but if mistakes happen, that's fine. Who on this planet is like perfect? No one's hair is perfect, no one's speech is perfect, no one's attitudes are perfect. Just live with it.
Yeah, and the people that you think are perfect, that seem to be perfect, are the most messed up.
Yeah, every time. Just turn on the news or turn on YouTube for a second. Right. You'll know no one's perfect.
Facts. All the actors in Hollywood and these rappers y'all look up to, man. Everybody got problems.
Yo, and it ain't easy to keep that under wraps anymore. People getting exposed left and right.
That's a fact.
We in this cancel culture now, man.
So when you locking the beard up, bro?
Never. Come on, I ain't Captain Jack Sparrow.
Bro, I don't know. People ask me all the time, like, bro, on YouTube at least.
You're different though, because I know you shave that like an inch, that joint's gonna grow a foot.
Bro, just do it. Lock it up. It's gonna fit your whole look. Bro.
All right. So I do mess around every once in a while, like at least my mustache. I'll like show up to work every once in a while and just keep going like this until it sticks. And like right here, especially because it gets so long that I can do that now. But no, I don't think I'm gonna go that far. If I do that, I'm gonna just become a mixologist. I'm gonna turn away. I'm gonna get rid of the chef coat and all that. Grow my mustache out. Do one of them little curly cute things. And just become a bartender.
Word. So man, you gotta let me know, like, what's the 5-year plan? Because you say you want to open a restaurant. You might want to be in the island somewhere. So what does the next 5 years look like for you?
Within the next 5 years, I find myself traveling between the islands and the States a lot. In my plan, I'll have 2 shops of my own, one here, one small shop in the island. And 5 years is not a long amount of time, I'm realizing, because I blink my eye, I'm 27 years old. It's a short amount of time, but I personally believe that with the connections I'm getting, and honestly with the support that I'm getting, 2 places in 5 years is not a hard feat. Between having Jade's Kitchen that I did over the summer, it was something very small, but something that definitely had me progress like crazy in just a few months of this COVID thing. Like that's I 100% believe that having the one business with my boy and having something for myself out by family, totally possible. Yeah, start off small. Definitely thinking of starting off small. A lot of handheld stuff. Definitely working on getting a lot of health food. I'm trying to learn more into doing health food and all of that. But after I hit that 5-year point, that's when the whole I started thinking about having a restaurant group when I was 19 years old. But I believe that will be that's the 5 years after that. So 5 years, okay. 2 restaurants, and then after that, just work on to the group. Work on to having places that I can build and have people that didn't necessarily go to culinary school, didn't necessarily have high-end fine dining jobs, which is something I see. It's always on everyone's job description or on Indeed and Monster. You need 4 years, 5 years in these high establishments, and I'm just like, that's not fair, and that's not what I want for my staff. I don't want them to think that they need that. Because I got lucky. I would say that I've been entirely blessed with the way that my progression has worked out. But not everybody gets that. So that's another big thing with the 5-year plan, is bringing in as many people as I can that didn't necessarily get the chance to go to culinary school or didn't have the money to travel from place to place to place to gain that kind of experience. Come to me with a month of experience. And that will change very quickly. Just helping other people, man. Like, once again, I'm blessed. Why can't other people have that same opportunity?
Yeah. I mean, you're a man who's obviously taken advantage of the opportunities you've been given, which is really important.
Yeah, we had a lot of different people, both high and low, that have all had some kind of effect, even if it was something as simple as just saying, hey, I think this was really good. Or I love the fact that I think that you having your own channel would be a great idea. The way that you speak with people and your interaction is such a great idea. You should do this. And then just little things like that totally change the game for, I think, people like us.
Yeah.
Now it's just about bringing that to other people and having them follow that somewhat of that same footstep.
Yeah. And the important part first is to build your own thing up, that you can help other people, just like the people who helped us. You know, they established themselves in whatever industry, and they were able to pass things down.
And then they found a way to help
opportunity, whatever.
That,
yeah, definitely. So,
you know what I'm talking about, especially with that one.
You said what?
You know who I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you already know. We gonna talk off camera.
He knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. So someone who's been growing their locks for what, 3 years now? You said 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
About 5 years.
Dang, 5 years.
Wait, is it?
No,
3 years. 5 years since I've been down here.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yankees for 5 years. So 3 years of experience. What is some advice that you would give to somebody that wants to grow locks, but they don't know where to start? They don't know, where to go, what products to use, whether it be freeform locks or they want to get them twisted, whatever. What advice would you give to them?
All right, first bit of advice, stay away from that beeswax stuff.
That's a gem. That's a gem right there.
I didn't know about that until after the second person that twisted my hair. She's like, I don't use that stuff and I will never put that in your hair. Don't do that. Stay away from hair gels. That's a big thing. But if you're even considering it, realize it's just hair. After a while, once you get to a certain point, it will not be just hair. But in the beginning, just think about it as just hair. Hair you can cut off, you can grow back. So just do it. You might think that it doesn't work for you. How are you going to know if you don't try it? Just go for it. It's as simple as trying earrings or trying a new type of music out. Give it a shot. If you like it, you do. If you don't, whatever. It's completely fine. That's what I had to do for myself, is not thinking so much about what other people think, just going for it. And it turned out great. I apply that same thought to my own food. Why not try this? Why not try that? Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So those are like honestly the two biggest pieces of advice. Stay away from that beeswax.
No beeswax.
Please.
No beeswax.
you will not be happy with what will happen. And yeah, just give it a shot. If you really are thinking about it and it's been popping in your head for more than a month, you want to do it. You're just being a little afraid.
Word.
I can say other things, but you're being something. But
we're gonna keep it corporate. We'll keep it corporate.
This is family. This is a family channel.
Yo, well said, man. So, where can the people find you? You got anything you want to promote? Go ahead and talk about it.
Well, right now I have my own business called Jay's Kitchen. I'm selling my own sauces. It's a little bit of a mixture of what I'm growing up with, big on Asian culture, and it's heavy. Like it's heavy utilizing fresh fruits. Like my top seller is the guava jerk barbecue, man. Like, if you want to find me, you can find me on my Instagram at JCaters, Jay Caters 22, and you can just DM me if you're interested in any orders. You can find my menu on my Instagram as well. I also do meal preps and private events. Just let me know, and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Jamar George, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, everybody.
Man, I appreciate you, bro.
Man, I love you,
dope.
dog. I love you, dog.
It's my brother right here. Yo, that's been another episode of Dreadlock Talk. Until the next one, peace.